morning. Not my usual set of wheels at the moment, and let me get my other up here.
Up and down. That's
let's turn the radio off. Listen to that.
50 groups.
Ooh, diesel rumble. Yep, I'm not in my usual car. However, it is winter, 4 degrees, which it tells you down here, and one of the bonuses of this car, heated seats, very nice. It is a manual gearbox. What do you do with this thing? I haven't used one of these in a while, not since my last hire car when the Zoe was in the garage. It is also 4-wheel drive. It is a Hyundai Tucson 2-litre diesel 4-wheel drive, and it's actually a really nice car. Very well put together. Drives fine, enough oomph, but 34 miles to the gallon. That's not so fun. There's kind of my average, what I've been doing the last wee while. 34, and I'm gonna go. I need to go fill it up. I've had it since it had a full tank, so I need to go put some diesel in. So on we go. Nice thing is that it has camera and sensors and all that stuff on the back. No sensors on the front for some reason, which for a kind of bigger car like this is actually a bit of a pain, because it's quite a big bonnet sticking out the front. Not that I've had any real big, problems with that or anything, but you kind of expect these days to have sensors all the way around, particularly when you've got sensors on the back and camera on the back as well. Right, so why am I driving around in this thing? I've actually been driving it for over 3 weeks now. My Zoe came up with the battery charging impossible, or has it probably better translated, battery charging interrupted message, and I haven't had that for a long time. I think I did have it maybe 4 months ago or something like that, and then plugged into a different charger and it cleared fine, and so I didn't really think anything of it. This time it did the same thing that it did maybe a year ago, where it just wouldn't clear. So I tried it in, I think it was 4 different chargers, and a rapid charger as well, and in none of them would it clear, so I had to get it taken to the dealer. Now, the way the kind of Renault assistance works, I could have driven the car to the dealer. There was enough charge in it to get to the dealer. I think I was down to about 9 miles of range, something like that. So I would have had enough charge to get to the dealer, okay. But if you just take the car to the dealer, then you're kind of you're at the whim of the dealer on whether they've got a courtesy car available or anything like that. So I instead called Renault Assistance and explained to them what was going on. So they, as happened last time, got a flatbed lorry to come and pick up the car and take it to the local dealer here in Aberdeen. So instead of going all the way down to Brecon, about 40 miles away. So that's where we are. They've been investigating it, and I'm waiting to hear back. But from what I've the last time I spoke to the dealer at the end of last week, they have ordered a new charging port, so the charging socket at the front of the car. The last time it did this, I ended up with a new cable, and it has been fine for basically a year or so, maybe even a bit more than a year. I can't remember exactly when that was. I'd have to go back and have a look at the videos probably. Certainly did a video around about that time, and so that is a part that's going to have to come from France. No doubt they won't have one in stock here. Was told it, it could be a week or so till that comes through. So I'm waiting with that. There was another Zoe in the dealer at the same time for a similar kind of issue. The owner of that car has got his back now, so that's good for him. I hope it is fixed for him. And well, I'm still waiting. Now, so part of I don't know if this is true, but it's kind of my perspective on it is when you use the Renault Assistant. So it's great. I mean, they had this car was available within like an hour or something of calling them, and then they've just extended the hire on it as has been required, so there's been no bother at all. But I do wonder if that kind of maybe gives the dealer there's no pressure to get the car fixed because you've got wheels and you're still mobile and all of that, which, because to be honest, it'd be nice to have the Renault back. I mean, this is a nice car. It's quite nice in the middle of winter to have a car with heated seats, but 34 miles to the gallon, well, that ain't great. And it's a bit noisy and all that kind of stuff, and it's a manual gearbox, and we do an awful lot of driving around the town, and the no gearbox of the Renault is wonderful for all that kind of driving. So so at the moment it's life without a Renault Zoe, and I suspect we're heading towards Christmas here rapidly, a few days away. I'm not going to get it back until after Christmas, by which time we'll be a kind of whole month away. So that's, I mean, for what should be a relatively simple problem, you'd have thought, it's taken a long time to get it resolved, and I certainly know this has been the case, kind of following on Facebook and what have you, for other Zoe drivers. So you do wonder if, I mean, the cars are, fundamentally the cars are not that complicated, kind of mechanically, but when you have a kind of an issue like this one, which could be a kind of slightly, an issue that comes and goes, that it's maybe not so easy to find out what the source of the problem is. So the obvious thing is the message, battery charging impossible, but I suspect there are many different things that can happen that would come up with that same message, and so they've got to go through all of these to try and find out what it is. So yeah, I'm not sure. It just feels like there's not a massive kind of rush to get it fixed. It's a bit frustrating, to be honest. Or there's just not the collective knowledge amongst the dealers that are. This dealer is quite new, as a Renault dealer in Aberdeen, just opened a matter of months ago, or a year, maybe a year ago now. Probably not even a year ago yet. bleeping you hear, by the way, as I'm driving, this car has got the lane keep assist system. So it's because I'm on a country road and I'm veering across the central line when going, taking the racing line across some of the corners around the curves. Yes, semi-autonomous driving, in that it does nudge the wheel a little to try and keep you on the straight and narrow, but if you let go of the steering wheel for more than a few seconds, it bleeps away at you and tells you not to put your hands back on the wheel. And there it goes again, and it only does it at certain speeds, and it's quite temperamental about the lines need to be really clear for it to pick up where it's going. So it's definitely more of an assist than it is a kind of autopilot-y type thing that will kind of take care of itself. Speaking of which, I think one of the a couple of videos ago, something like that, I was talking a bit about autonomous driving and having experienced it in a Tesla. So just as I thought would happen, and I think I probably said a bit about this in the video, Tesla have started rolling back on how autonomous the car is, and I think you've now got to hold the steering wheel pretty much all the time. You can't drive around with your arms folded, that kind of thing, any longer. You've got to be holding on, and I've witnessed that in Phil's loaner P90D, I think, Model S, where it really doesn't allow you to go far without hanging onto the steering wheel. And to be honest, I think that is probably the right decision, as in that previous video, with people kind of taking advantage of what should be an assist system and kind of treating it as an autonomous system, which it really isn't. So now, of course, Tesla are broken with the company that was providing a lot of that technology, so they're having to introduce new technology into their new cars. And from what I've heard from Phil, the new cars have got like 8 different cameras in, so it's a whole new system that is very much leading towards fully autonomous driving. But of course, that's going to be a good few years ahead with legal issues that will have to be resolved before we get to that point. So anyway, that's that. But in fact, before we go on to anything else, I did have a wee jaunt with Andrew, my son, in that P90D with Phil, and that car was fitted with insane mode, the sports kind of launch mode. So here is a wee video of that in action. So, max battery power. What did it say, Phil, when you put on that?
You press that.
Okay, select max battery power to consider battery at high temperature. Short-term acceleration and performance. The trade-off of the power boost is extra energy consumption. All right. Sounds like a sensible trade-off. Yeah? 40 probably, I would think.
I want to just mash
like
it, or do you want launch mode?
What do you reckon, Andrew?
Well, it's right. You put your foot on brake.
Yeah.
Tap that. Launch mode enabled.
Launch mode enabled.
You put full power. If you like crunch.
Feel it. Oh, flipping hell. Woo!
If you
you feel it. You feel the torque going into those motors.
And then you just take your foot off brake.
And then it's away.
Please turn soon.
That is full on. Like, what's that roller coaster ride in
Read.
That's it. Yeah, that's the one. That is the one. Yeah.
Dad, when we replace It's Renault.
You reckon, huh?
Please turn
Right, this will be just mash.
So this is a bit different.
See if you just tell me first. Oh, you ready?
Okay. Oi, mamma mia!
It skidded. It skidded. It was just,
did, you heard a little.
It was just sat there spinning wheels.
That was it's a little bit damp, isn't it, the road?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're doing launch mode, you
put your foot on brake.
tap the
Tap
throttle.
accelerator.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't work that time. Put foot on brake. Tap accelerator. Or did you push accelerator?
There it goes.
Yeah, then you put your foot full down and then let go.
That is insane.
That's what it says.
That does! Darn it! It's right!
Now turn left.
What do you reckon, Andrew?
Like I said, the worst one is this. This was what.
So this is when you're just kind of...
No, this is what made me ill. Like if, right, you slow down and you go.
Oh, yeah. That is still...
Oh, that got my stomach
is
again.
still vicious, isn't it? Yeah.
Road must be damn because there's a traction
It is.
control light
You
and it's
can
just
see it,
flashing
and
like
that's
that,
with
and you
the
can just see it wheels spinning.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you want, launch or mash?
What do you reckon, Andrew?
Launch.
Go for
Go
launch
launch.
mode. Okay. Oh! Just, isn't it? Yeah, that is nuts, isn't it? That would get quite addictive. Woo! Man, my seatbelt is clamping me. I don't know.
Yeah, mine's locked.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
is that road?
Yeah, this will be the road going down here. Whoa! Beautiful, nice wee drive in the country.
But you start after a few, you start feeling
A bit queasy. Yeah. No, I can see that. So I mean, if you were in
It's only 30.
full insane mode, I mean, full like
ludicrous.
on a racetrack, I wonder how many miles you'd get doing.
Oh, probably not many.
Nah, yeah. Well, I suppose it would overheat, wouldn't it?
There's that new formula next year. That's.
Oh, that's true. They're doing
racing,
it. Yeah.
But when you think ludicrous now is half a second quicker than that.
It does a bit of thinking about, does it?
Well,
So this is just regular.
that's sports, right? We're into sports.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good, but it isn't as. It doesn't give that immediate oomph,
No.
does it?
That's 4 seconds to 60.
Oh, that's just pathetic, isn't it? Oh, dear.
Oh no, it is 70
Yeah,
along here.
this is the
70 mile an hour signs.
Now
Oh no, it's single track, innit? That's
single track.
That's
So
60.
yeah.
Oh, it's up and down a bit. Now then, if I put that on max battery, I don't know if I might have lost battery now. Oh, it is
It's
ready.
still there. Yeah.
Have to watch for hills.
It'll go up there.
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
Make a U-turn if possible.
Fans are going.
Yeah.
Steering wheels vibrating.
Oh, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A mash. Are you ready?
Okay.
It's just spinning. It's skidded and then
You can-
set off.
Yeah. That is pretty amazing. 4-wheel drive, and it is struggling to put the power down.
It might help going downhill.
Remind me next time he does that to put my head against the headrest, and so I don't clatter my brain. Oh dear.
I'm not turning around there, a bit sludge. You don't want sludge on wheels.
No, that would be a little bit disconcerting. Mud on road. Oh, I can hear the fans. Oh yeah, them whirring up.
Yeah, you start giving these cars some ammo. That's why you get limited power after so long, because you overheat.
It'll only yes.
That's why I don't know how they're going to manage to do racing next year.
I know. They're gonna have to have major cooling stuff going on.
You don't have it.
Oh, I see. Right. Huh? actually, it is a bit damp. Yeah, it is.
Well, it's damp.
It's-
It's downhill, might compensate. You can
Please
hear
turn
fans.
You
soon.
can.
Ready?
Okay. I was ready for you that time. My goodness, you could, because you're going downhill, you could act and you're accelerating so fast, you feel a bit gravityless. I could feel myself lifting in the seat. Hey.
Right, that's enough of that. I'm going to be light-headed.
Oh dear.
Let car cool down.
Yeah.
See?
Yep.
300 yards,
the
turn left on
Lighthouse
St.
around
James
there.
Road.
Yeah, the harbour lighthouse. Yeah, you couldn't do that too many times after a nice fish supper. Unless you wanted to visit it again.
Put it back in sports. Now, you can drive in ludicrous insane all the time.
200
It's
yards,
and
turn
it
left onto
sports and
Victoria
insane.
Road.
There's no difference with normal driving.
Yes,
It's only different.
only if you're setting off.
If you
or-
slam it,
Okay.
that insane
It-
gives you
it
more
kicks
power
you,
than
yeah.
sports.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Bjorn drives round in ludicrous all the time, and I says, "Why are you using more power?" And he says,
Yeah,
"No,
so
you don't." He says,
It's only if you're
only if you demand more power." that
okay. It allows it to happen.
But
right?
you do get better acceleration for overtaking things as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But 4 seconds overtaking is plenty.
Yeah. Huh? Oh dear. So that's about the same acceleration as what?
In half a mile,
A
turn
Veyron?
left onto
A GTR? 2.8, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, if I got ludicrous, it'd be faster than that.
And that'd be even faster, yeah. They've got it down to 2.4.
Yeah.
That's just bizarre. Oh dear. Well, bit of fun in the Tesla there. My goodness me, if you're not prepared for that acceleration, then you could actually really hurt yourself. I'm sure you could pull a muscle or something in your neck if you kind of were caught off guard by it, by someone having a bit of fun. But you do feel the power, the torque. You can feel the car tensing when it goes into the launch mode. It's yeah, a lot of fun. A little bit scary. I can't quite believe they've gone now faster still in ludicrous mode, which as Phil was saying, I think that's down to like 2.5 seconds to 60. Madness, pure madness. Just done for the numbers really, and for the fun of it, I'm sure. Quite a lot of stories about Teslas and just kind of reliability issues and all of that coming out at the moment. And I kind of hope Tesla are able to pull through that and do right by their customers who've paid a lot of money for the cars. Some issues that I guess more mainstream, larger car makers have resolved over many years of building these things. That maybe they're struggling a little with that. I hope they can work that through, especially as they ramp up for Model 3. But there we are. Well, back to the Renault. I am quite looking forward, as to be said, to trying out one of the new Renaults with the bigger battery range. That, 41 kilowatt hour battery. Man, that is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I would think for just about for nearly everyone, that takes away the whole range anxiety issue. Certainly, but we don't tend to have any kind of range anxiety issues unless happen to be on a long run and get caught with a charger that is not working properly or something like that. But it would just give a little bit more flexibility, and certainly in the winter it would be nice. Up here it does get cold in the winter, just to have a little bit more of a buffer. So for us, we can, on the summer, it's often just in our regular day-to-day driving, we're only charging maybe every 4 or 5 days, something like that. In the winter it can be down to every 2 or 3 days, and we're kind of doing the same miles, but just and then also you get the benefit of if it's plugged in overnight, the preconditioning of the car, where it de-ices and all of that before, which is nice. It's really nice. So yeah, that'd be great. If I was going to get another one, I would still go for the quick charge, so the older motor, the one that I've got in my car, so it allows you to charge at 43 kilowatt hours, especially with a bigger battery. I think I'm going to turn down here. I think that would be really quite important to have that. Anyway, low fuel warning is on, so I need to go and fill up. Not a very pleasant thing to be doing. Though, of course, our other car is diesel as well, so kind of used to that. Yeah. This car, so I was talking about the Renault, really pleased to see what Renault are doing there, and the developments that they're making would make getting another one very tempting. Haven't heard anything yet about the battery, changing the battery, switching over battery units to the battery pack to a bigger one. Might hear more about that in the new year. Speaking of which, I'm now at, can you believe it, nearly 3 years since I picked up the car. It's certainly 3 years since the car arrived at the dealership, and I waited until January into the new year to pick it up. So while it's in at the dealer, it's going to get its 3 years service and its first MOT. So there is that. It has had 2 new tyres already, so that would be, well, that's the only thing I can kind of think of that might be an MOT issue, and that isn't an issue. So we'll see. I'm hoping it will just fly through that without any issues. Yeah, so driving this Hyundai around, and it's been a while since I've been in one of these. They have improved a long way, just in the kind of the quality is, I mean, it's still plasticky and all of that sort of stuff, but it's really well put together. So I am intrigued and would like to try one of the Hyundai Ioniqs, which comes in 3 different flavors. There's a kind of hybrid, like a Prius kind of hybrid. There is a plug-in hybrid, and there's a full electric version. I would like to try the full electric version, obviously, which has is more powerful, about 120 horsepower, I think. The motor, of course, is a bigger car than the Renault. I think it's about 1900 kilos, something like that, rather than the sort of 1500-ish of the Renault. And the battery capacity is, I think it's 28 kilowatt hours. So that's kind of interesting. So I don't know if that is actually 28 kilowatt hours in the same kind of vein that I think Nissan tell you what the pure battery capacity is of the battery, or whether it's 28 kilowatt hours in the way that Renault tell you the battery capacity, in which it's actually a bit more than that, but it gives you this kind of leeway for them to adjust the kind of pattern of degradation of the car to keep it more even. So yeah, I'm miles. It just feels a little. So I really want to try the car because having driven this one now for 400 miles or so, it is a well put together car. Handles fine, it's quite comfortable, that sort of stuff. So I can imagine it is actually it's a nice place to be, a nice car to do a lot of miles in. But is 28 kilowatt hours enough when you're just launching the car now, when these kind of second generation electric cars are coming out? I don't mean second generation because I know these cars are way more than second generation, like the Renault ZOE, but I mean like the second version of the Renault ZOE is coming out. You've had the Nissan Leaf already with a bigger battery pack. You've had the BMW i3 coming out with a bigger battery pack. So you've had these other cars coming out with more battery capacity and all more than the what the Hyundai is offering, and you just feel like they've missed a trick. They're out of kilter. So that car should have been launched like 2 years ago, and they should be getting ready to prepare another one that's launching with 45-50 kilowatt hour battery. So yeah, because otherwise I can imagine it'd be a really, really tempting car if it had a range heading towards 200 miles, you know. But with these other cars now coming out that have a bigger range, I don't know. I think it would be hard to make a case for it as is. It'd be better to wait, which is a real shame. Anyway, I'll be interested. I must pop into the dealer. It's the same dealer where we got our Citroen from. They do multiple brands here in Aberdeen. See if they're going to get one in, and see if I can borrow it for a wee test drive and see what like. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's really about it. On Zoe, I mean, everything had been fine apart from the drop links issue I had in a previous video. She had just been fine, just been plugging along, no bother, until boom, this battery charging issue came up. But when that happens, you really are, you know, there's nothing you can do when it repeats like that. There are things you can do to try and clear it ordinarily, but in this case none of those worked. So there definitely was something more at issue. Yeah, so that's about it. Yeah. In fact, the dealership had managed to charge the car. This was like within the first week it was there, and then they were just, I think they were just about to go and do the, I'd called to ask them if they could do the service. They were just about to go and do the service and stuff, and so they plugged it in again just to check it was still working okay and communicating and all that stuff, and then it came up with the same error again. So that it was at that point then they realized, oh, hey up, we need to do another layer of investigation. So I think that's what's really held things up. And of course all this communicating back to Renault Technical, and then so everything's been kind of done second hand, you know, so they have to do tests and then to get those tests back to Renault Technical, and no doubt all of that sequence of events takes a day or 2 days for the information to go back and then to come back to the dealer, and so you can see how time runs away, which is frustrating. As I say already in this video, it is frustrating. But at least still mobile and all that. Alright, I don't know, I may just put this up without a Renault ZOE in it at all. We'll see. One piece of good news though is that the workplace charger at the church is now fully installed and working. But I have no car to try it with, so I had to go to the dealer and ask them if I could borrow their demonstrator Zoe, so that I could go and take it to check with the guy who was commissioning the charging point. Check it was all working fine, which it was, so that was good. So that's positive, but no car. Anyways, hi there. Thank you. That's great. Thanks very much. Bye. Well, there we go. £61, and the tank is completely full. From, I think I was down to 30 miles of range left. So of course, you know, I'm thinking good electric car owner, 30 miles. That's loads. Why am I worried about fuel? I'm not worried about fuel at all. Nay bother. So I was gonna see if I can reset the, hold OK to reset. There we go. I'm gonna reset the trip meter on this thing and see what we're doing for fuel. I didn't reset it actually, so that's, I guess, that running total. So I just had a wee little run in the country while I was blethering, and I'd averaged about 40 miles to the gallon there. So that, I guess that's not horrendously bad. But the, I mean, our other car, the Citroen C4 Grand Picasso, so a bigger car than this, probably doesn't weigh as much though. Not four-wheel drive, of course. I must say, so like the car I traded in for the Renault was four-wheel drive, and I love the traction when you're wanting to get away quick, and it just sticks and goes. In the Renault, if it's a damp road, you put your foot down and it just scrabbles away all that torque as the front wheels fail to grip. So it is nice that having complete assurance in damp roads that the car will just grip and go when you want to get away from lights fast or something like that. Yeah, the Citroen, we're averaging about 45 miles to the gallon with that, and that's a lot of that driving is around town too. On a longer run, you can easily get over 50 miles to the gallon out of it. So yeah, it's not, definitely this car is not as efficient, and that you're averaging what looks to be 10 miles per gallon less for a 5-seater as opposed to the 7-seater that the Citroen is. So and the Citroen's got an automatic gearbox, which this doesn't. Citroen has stop-start, which this car doesn't. This just keeps on rattling away whenever you get to lights, which I must admit, when you're used to the stop-start and the car going silent, whenever you get to the lights, it's quite nice. Nice to have that feature, and you notice it when it doesn't do that. Though in the winter it is noticeable. I think in one of the last videos talked about how aggressive the stop-start is on the Citroen, and it really it does it almost immediately. Now that we're into the winter, it generally is waiting a bit longer, so it is waiting for the engine to heat up a bit more. So it is clearly taking that into account. It's just that in the warmer, when you're kind of over, I don't know, 12, 15 degrees temperature, then it does it pretty much immediately. So yeah, so there we are. Yeah, interesting to see what this does when it's got I'm trying to go through the things here. 15 miles to the gallon. Oh no, that hasn't already has, but let me reset the mileage as well. There we go. go. So 453 miles range it says, which is about what it had when I picked this up. It was full then. So I was of course assuming I was not going to have to, I mean I knew I'd have to top the car up, but I wasn't expecting to have to fill up the car because I was running out of fuel. Only I was expecting to have this car for maybe a week or something like that. Not for 3+ weeks as it is going to be. Yay. So I've got this, I've pressed this system off, lane keep assist on, and let's get back onto the road here. So it does show you a bit like the Tesla, though this is not nearly as advanced. There are kind of white lines on either side of the car image in the screen front, between the dials, and when it is picking up the white lines, they kind of go a bright white, and then it picks up from there, where it should be tracking. There it goes, and the little steering wheel comes up, and then I can feel it nudging the steering wheel. Right, I'm going to go turn because we're heading towards the middle of town, which does not provide many opportunities for showing this off. Right, we have to do a quick turn around here. The other thing is, okay, it's weird how you get so used to different features in cars that you just think should be standard, but they aren't on all cars. So this car has got automatic lights, great, so they turn on automatically, but it doesn't have automatic wipers for some reason. So you've got to do the old manual intermittent thing. What a palaver that is, when you're used to a car that has automatic wipers. As oh man, just about all the cars we've had in the last kind of 10 years have had those features standard, so it's kind of strange not to have that. Right, so here it is. It is on. You can kind of see it flashing as it's trying to pick up the lines, but it is you see that? It is just nudging keeping it right, and then it's going to get confused because there's a bus lane right there. So yeah, so I guess what it's trying to do is it's trying to keep you in the lane, and in that way it is quite effective. It does it nudges the car and makes, and that alone kind of makes you, what's it doing? Kind of keeps you alert to what's happening. Though I don't know, it just feels like this sort of technology is a bit halfway house, and it's not really doing much of anything. But what it is doing is it's allowing a lot of experience and learning by the manufacturers, so that they can improve this to then go on another step or two where the car is going to be doing more on its own. And it does seem that this only works over 40 miles an hour, I think it is, which I think some of the other kind of systems like Tesla systems, or probably other Mercedes, things like that, will work at a much lower speed. And of course it has cruise control, but it doesn't have the radar guided cruise control that will take you down to zero and then speed up again. It doesn't do any of that stuff, which with a manual gearbox I guess is no great surprise. You really need an automatic for a car to be able to do all that. Right, we'll go around this roundabout and then back down this way. There's quite a lot of traffic. Midday, you wouldn't think there'd be an awful lot of traffic, but there is. Oh, that's the frost alert on the road, black ice. still, it is pretty mild for middle of December. Heading towards late December, actually. 2/3 of the way through. Right. Around we go. And of course, yeah, roundabouts and all that sort of thing. Yeah. That completely confuses most of these kind of autonomous systems at the moment. Right. There it goes. So you feel there's just a slight twitch on the wheel when it kind of takes over, at least I did there. And so we're just a gentle curve on this road. It's just curving to the left slightly. Now what's it going to do here? Because I did have on one motorway where I was wanting to come off, and there was no traffic around, so I just came off on the slip road instead of indicating. So when you indicate, I think it kind of overrules the keeping in white lines, between the white lines, and yeah, and it actually wanted to, it quite strongly tugged you back into away from where you were wanting to go, huh? Which was, yeah, quite disconcerting, really. Right, here we go. We'll see what it does down here. So I'm ready to grasp the wheel here. So coming down, the road is veering to the right. Oh, you see, I don't have much faith in it. I'm wanting to hang on, and there it is. You see, yeah, it kind of lost the side of the road. So it just feels like whenever it gets to a point where, oh, this would be quite useful for it to start turning, like now, it stops. Oh, I suppose I was going a bit slow there. Yeah, it just doesn't feel wholly useful at the moment. Oh, now this road ahead's got a bit of a bend on it. We'll see what it does, if I can get up to speed quick enough. Okay, so there it is, it's on, but it doesn't really want to turn that far around. What's it going to do if it's wanting to get awful close to that side? Yeah, I don't trust it. Basically, it gets so close, and then what it's probably going to do is just then it'll flip off and say, nah, I'm not doing this. So lane keep assistant, but a bit of a part-time assistant, you know, only when she can be bothered, and when it's easy. Otherwise, if the going gets tough, it's like, yeah, actually, I'm not really paid for this. I'm out of here. So that's lane keep assist. I think probably the bleeping bit is more helpful. Well, I don't know. Is it? It's like beta software. It's not trying to do too much. So would I have it on all the time if I had a car with this kind of lane keep assist? I don't know. It's pretty annoying when you're on a country road and all that, so I think you would end up turning it on and off, and maybe just having it on when you're on a motorway or something like that. I mean, obviously it doesn't do anything around town because you're not going fast enough, and you know, on a country road it's constant bleeping at you if you're just going across the line, which you often do when you're on a country road. You can see way ahead, and you're just, you know, easing the path of the car around the corners. Would be a bit annoying to have that bleeping all the time. But, you know, as far as I say, as far as the quality of this car goes, pretty good. Not bad at all. Dials are nice and clear. You get used to having the LCD screens. We've got in both cars now, kind of high resolution LCD. So having dials is a bit old school, though they're nice and clearly laid out. And the little thing in the middle just reminds me of the Seat Alhambra we had, the Mercedes that we had before that. Very similar kind of layout. Does the job, shows the sat-nav instructions on where you're turning and all that in the middle if you want to. So that, yeah, it's fine. Does what it should. Right, back home, and enough for this wee living without the Renault ZOE episode, I think. Nice to have you along for the ride, as always. Cheers now.